care if you've been clowning great value Superman all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and Black Giants Affinity. I'm your host, Chris Voodoo Prodigy, coming to you live and direct from the beast. This smoke beyond fam with all that dang shit on my left. Oldest ninja in the world, old ninja.
What?
All right.
I can't hear Prodigy.
Oh,
You cannot hear me?
Nope.
You just
Not at all?
There.
Well, all right. Should we keep going?
Oh, Ninja?
Yeah, I can hear you in Blue.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're the loudest, Blue. You're louder than everybody. You're louder than Kratos.
Huh. Okay. Maybe that's something I'll figure out. Okay. Anyway, keep it rolling.
All right. Engineering on the ones and twos. Choke people out on threes, goes Chronos.
Yeah, this is a new live stream setup, so hope this doesn't have too many issues.
All right. We'll fix it in post. Last but not least, we got your boy Blue.
The word for computer has officially been changed to computa. Thank you, Sama Hayek.
I'm quite confused.
Yeah, I got it. I got that one.
It's a Black Mirror reference.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
You usually have some statistical analysis. What we starting with?
That I do. First in the chat will be Papa Bear. What's going on? Good to see you, fam. And also, boy Steve. Got to get back to both of them. And listener of the week would be So Go June. Thank you very much for listening. We definitely appreciate it.
I don't know why that sounds like a K-pop band member. You know?
I mean, it could be.
Could be. Old Ninja
can't. A
can't.
lot of Blackpink lately. I'm just saying because I had my daughter listen to them, and I was like, I'm pretty sure Prodigy's daughter likes this band. She was like,
It's a good band.
She was like instantly into it.
Yeah, it's a good
Did you
band.
say Blackpink?
Yeah,
Yep, Blackpink.
K-pop band.
Yeah,
Oh.
let's do a couple other stuff.
Oh, Blackpink was they were in Oakland 2 weeks ago.
Well, so Blackpink.
Nice.
is in
Oh
the
no,
area?
not them. It was the number 2 band. I'm sorry, because people were comparing Blackpink to them.
Actually, you sound really low too on my end.
Do I?
It's kind of weird.
You guys all sound fine to me.
Okay.
Well, I don't know
I'm
if
the
Old
only
Ninja.
one I can't hear.
Okay, Old Ninja can't hear me, so tell him to pour out something frothy and brown.
Pour out something frothy and brown there, old ninja.
No, not this week.
Not this week.
Oh, I guess we'll pour out something for our old live stream because we got that new hot. Maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, R.I.P. to the. Or did we already talk about the Submarine guys? We've been capping on them for a while
they're
now.
definitely dead now. We know that.
Yeah, I guess last week we were thinking that they were going to die that night or later on in the morning. So yeah, it happened.
All right.
Well, I got some details on like exactly what happened to them. Like scientifically, what would have happened? Basically, they would have felt no pain. So that's good, right?
I guess being liquefied alive.
Yeah,
painless?
Worse than that actually. So they would have been in like 10 milliseconds. They would have been dead, like from like the catastrophic failure to like death, and that's not enough time for your brain to register pain or sight or really probably even hearing. So yeah, they died instantly. And when it had catastrophic failure and it imploded, basically the inside of that submarine, in quotes, it got pretty hot and exploded. Like it imploded, then caught on fire, and then liquefied, and then caught on fire everything else inside, turned it into ashes and gel, and then everything that was inside went to the outside, and all that gelatinous material is now part of the ocean, the circle of life. So there will be no recovering of those bodies because they really don't exist.
It's crazy. There's a YouTube channel called Pressure. It's hydraulic pressure. And they didn't do this for the submarine thing. They did this like 7 years ago. But they put a light bulb inside of a pressure chamber, like a water pressure chamber, and they basically compress the water to simulate the pressure of the ocean deep. And you could just watching this light bulb like implode is like so satisfying. But it really gives you an idea of what happened to that submarine because it was like it just collapsed onto itself and it pops out, but then it pops back to itself. It kept like going back and forth. It's pretty cool to check out.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, they were
Oh,
fucked,
scary.
but they didn't feel pain. So
Is what it is. All
Are
right.
we live on YouTube?
yes, we are
Yeah, we
live on
are.
YouTube.
Okay. I
Can
don't
everybody in the chat hear us all?
They can, but they say that Prodigy sounds like garbage, but it's probably because he's using his cell phone. So
probably.
yeah,
Oh, they can't. I'm sorry. They can't hear me. My sound is shit.
yeah, they say your sound is shit, but you sound okay to me. But apparently to them, you sound bad. I
can't
mean, you don't
hear
sound
him.
great, obviously, but you know.
I cannot hear him at all.
Oh, and you're low, so I don't know why you can't hear him. Maybe it's something with.
Well, I moved my mic away, so.
Oh, okay, hold on.
But I can't. Oh, that's weird because I'm looking at the live stream now. He looks upright, but in our new stream, he looks sideways.
The fuck?
He's not
All
sideways
right.
on the stream. That's weird because I'm
For
watching
me, he
it
is.
live. Anyway, yeah, I'm watching it on it. So.
Well, let's get into it. We got a whole bunch
On
of
my
shit.
screen, on my screen, he is sideways, but on the
Oh,
YouTube, he's straight up and down. It's hilarious. Hilarious.
it is weird. Okay. Well,
Oh.
Well, let's get into it. What we want to start with first, gentlemen?
actually, can I start with
So-
something?
Go
Sorry,
ahead.
because I forgot to talk about this for like the past like probably 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So if you see next to me, there's a big box. It
Oh,
says
that.
4 on it, and this is the Diablo 4 box set. And let me just give you like an example of like how much bigger it is. Give me 1 second, okay?
I thought he was going to talk about extraordinary.
All right, so what I'm holding up is like this is the normal size box set of Blizzard things from like I guess yesteryear. It's pretty big. This is the StarCraft 2, the Protoss one, and this is the Diablo 4 box
Well,
set.
you got all excited.
So
thinking he was
it's
gonna
quite-
talk about extraordinary.
Yeah, it's quite large. It's pretty heavy, and the inside is pretty. Let me see if I can open this thing. That shit's gonna fall out, but yeah, there's like a bunch of artwork and shit. I'll pull out some of it so you guys can see. One of the cool things, shit, some of them fell out, but it came with like the blood petals are inside of it, which if you play the game, you'll know what that's from. Let's see. So these are like some of the art pieces that came with it. They're like art from the game, which is pretty cool. And then let's see. It has, pull it out, the artwork for Diablo 4, which is fucking thick. It's like a big ass book. So, and it's just like full of artwork and just like from like all the characters and stuff. It's pretty dope.
Nice.
Further on the inside, if I can get this shit out of here. Hold on a second. I don't want to like destroy this thing. Can I pull it out? Came with a pin for the Herodrum, which is cool. Oh, and it came with, I didn't even see this last time. Has like a tapestry piece of like the map. And this is like a fabric.
Oh, yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like a piece of fabric, which is pretty dope.
That's cool.
I think it came with a mouse pad. Diablo 4 mouse pad. Which is kind of cool, but I already got like a big ass mouse pad, so I don't really need this. That's just one side. One sec. Other side. Wait, where'd my fucking thing go? There's also a spot for me to put the actual game inside here, which is cool because I bought like it didn't come with the game, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, it did not come with a game. So on the other side, I gotta be careful with because it has all these blood petals inside. But there is a kind of a cool glass piece, which I haven't started using yet, but maybe I will at some point. I'm trying to get the box set together for right now. Sorry, this has like a strap on it if y'all are not watching me. It's like a thing that goes around it. Ugh. So y'all get a live unboxing. It also has a pretty cool like candle of Lilith, and it lights up and shit. Comes with batteries. So.
Oh, that's a
Oh, not Lilith. I'm sorry.
electric candle, right?
Yeah. Oh, it is Lilith. Yeah, it's electric candle with Lilith.
Okay.
So pretty dope. I thought it was cool.
That's a lot of shit.
Blizzard stuff. So yeah, there you go. You get to see the box set. And I don't know if it's still available. It came like after the game came out. So yeah, I'll find a link for it and I'll put it in the chat if it's still available.
Nice. The game is still legit. I'm enjoying it. I keep learning new shit that isn't quite intuitive, but I like talking to other players. Like, for example, I didn't realize that I could filter on the barbarian class, which is what I'm running. And basically, you do these dungeons and you get like perks.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then the other thing was claiming the more things you do in a certain section. And I got to like tier 2 or whatever, and it just gave me new vials of health. So now I have like up to 6 when I was running with 4 for the longest.
Yeah, because like when you first start, there's like a bunch of stuff in like the beginning, like city, where you can like expand like a bunch of your shit, but like most people just skip it. So.
Yeah. I'm going to confess, I still haven't, I don't understand some merchants. Like, I get the basic one, like the blacksmith and the armor and the gym, but there's like some newer ones that are only in Diablo 4 that still fucking confuse me.
Oh, like the occult one, it's like that. Yeah, so like the occult one, you can take off enchantments off of your shit and put them on new ones. Like, so basically you can just like take, it's only for like legendary shit, basically. But you can take off like the really cool legendary aspect of it, and then you can save it and then put it on something else. It's the same way how like, you know how you do like the challenges for like a class and it shows up in like the little challenge thing. It's like those where you can apply it to a different piece of gear. And
gotcha.
Prodigy, are you able to turn your volume up on your phone? Like, you're very faint. Like, you're like a whisper to me.
Okay, this is the highest it's on.
Well, he's talking about like your microphone volume, probably.
Yeah, your mic.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, the problem is that we can hear him fine.
Yeah,
I cannot hear him at all. I can hear him as if he's in like a very far away in another room, like kind of burning.
Actually, you know what? Y'all keep going. I'll be right back. I'm gonna try to.
What do you say?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I don't know how that will work with the feed.
I know.
Are y'all going?
But yeah, it's very cool that you got this box. It looks like it's like a whole nother console. Like, can you imagine like a PS5 or Xbox like Diablo console? That'd be kind of cool, actually.
They have the Xbox Series X Diablo 4 edition.
I think it's a controller. Yeah, I think it's just a controller.
No, it's the whole thing.
Oh, I haven't kept up, but
I don't know. It looks like a starter kit to some witchcraft.
Yeah.
A seance.
Like build a bear, but build a witch.
Build some bedlam.
Zug.
Oh dang! Oh, people said it sounds like Prodigy was in a metal box.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, he's on his cell phone, so that's probably the main thing.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
So people are still in the chat are still talking about the Flash. They're still going off. I said Blue's interacting. I mean, I think Blue and I are the only two on the cast that's seen it.
Yeah, it looks like a Warrior fella said who said they're going to see it January or July 4th. Who said they saw it?
I've seen it.
Somebody in the chat had said they saw it.
Papa Bear, I think, seen it. I think Papa Bear.
Oh, we were talking about Spider-Man or Spiderverse.
Someone went into the Flash like right after.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's funny because I'm pretty sure someone posted that it looks like the Flash might be streaming on the 18th of July.
Damn, that's fast.
Like, yeah, that's literally in 2.5 weeks.
Save your money. Don't go to the theater.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Let's see. I'm see if it's posted.
What happened to your video, old Ninja? Did you turn it off?
Yeah, I turned it off.
Oh, okay.
Because it's probably eating.
I am eating. Of my face. But I think we lost Prodigy to the Void.
He's gonna come back. I think he's trying to do something like a different setup.
Okay. Oh, right on, Papa Bear.
Papa Bear wants
Prodigy back.
All right.
No. Okay. I think so.
Oh, the live feed is like the heck of delayed for me. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, it's usually pretty delayed, but the live stream should look better to everybody else in there. I hope.
I have no idea. So, there's a lot of stuff happening out there that people are already talking about. Like everybody's talking about. I think we should discuss. There's going to be a tangent because one of the fans has a question for Cronus. I'll ask it once we go through the discussion. We'll get it in when Project kind of comes back. We can start it. So y'all have seen, I think yesterday, that Warner Brothers has announced that they casted a new Superman and a new Lois for Superman Legacy, which will start filming sometime this year. What are your thoughts on this cast?
Go ahead.
Well, one thing I just gotta say, James Gunn got to do something with his hair. Like, dude, you're stuck in like the early 2000s. Like, just let it go, bro. Just let it go. Anyways, no, well, I don't know the actor. Like, I think he was on was he on Downton Abbey or something like that, or she was on one of those.
I don't know. No, she's from the Marvelous Miss Marcel or something like that. Some show
something like that.
Miss Maisel.
Maisel.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, she's the star on that show.
But it's basically like they basically cast a watered down Henry Cavill. Like the guy looks just like him. But then again, Henry Cavill like kind of looks like Christopher Reeve. So I guess there's kind of a look that they're going for. But yeah, I mean I know with Henry Cavill, like he was actually pretty small before he got the role of Superman, so he was able to bulk up. So maybe this person might be to do the same. But then again, like when Henry Cavill was on the screen, like you just knew he was Superman, even though he was dressed as Clark. Like he was just too big to be Clark. Like he didn't have that that nerdiness or like that frail body. Like this dude was fucking yoked. Like Clark Kent was yoked. But this character or this actor, he's a little bit on the smaller side. But who knows what they're gonna do with them? But I don't know. DC just can't get their shit together when it comes to their movies.
I think that they just need a chance. And honestly, I mean, if you can do it, if you can pull it off, then good. But I mean, DC has been in shambles for a long time, and the Flash is just kind of the nail in the fucking coffin,
yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say we got the Blue Beetle that's coming out, so hopefully that draws in some good numbers because I mean Jaime Reyes is pretty dope, and plus the Blue Beetle suit looks pretty sick so far in the trailer.
Yeah. So a lot of people are saying this is like the Dollar General or the great value version of Henry Cavill. To me, I'm just like, people forget when Henry Cavill got casted, people were talking hella shit. Partly which is what Blue mentions that he was small. He was smaller. He wasn't like he wasn't like Michael Cera skinny, but he was like a smaller dude. And he bulked up and whatnot. And then people were like, saw Man of Steel, and then they came on board after they saw the film. I think if they give this guy a chance, he can pull it off. And I think that they were looking for a Christopher Reeve kind of look. I think he's kind of in between. I think the closest to Christopher Reeve was Brandon Routh. He looked like Christopher Reeve more than anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, we shall see. I'm gonna wait and try to reserve judgment. I know that DC hasn't had a great track record, but we shall see.
But plus, like when it comes down to like playing roles, like I actually wasn't for Kristen Bell playing Batman. Like I was like, what? No, this. I mean, yeah, he's a good actor and stuff like that, but I just couldn't see him as Batman. He proved me fucking wrong. Like he's probably the second greatest Batman actor after Michael Keaton. So we will see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people, when there's a new whoever, like we're all, judgmental about who it's going to be, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, well, I'll reserve judgment until it comes out, and it could be, I've always said, I've had a huge issue with the DCU in general. They've just been terribly edited, not very well written. The color palette was all off; they're all dark and shit. They just seem like kind of half-assed to me. So if they just made it like not half-assed and like a decent movie, then I'd give it a lot of kudos. So I mean, my standards for the DCU in general is very low at this point, especially given like them trying to shove Ezra Miller down our throats with the Flash, even though he's a fucking piece of shit. So
yeah.
All right.
They're trying to get their money back. That's what they're trying to do.
That's not gonna. Well, they might get their money back. But
I think globally they've made their money back. But I mean, there's still the marketing part. Yeah, that.
Yeah. So
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Wait, you can hear who? Was Prodigy back? Oh, he is back. Hold on, give me a second. Can you? I can't hear him though. That's fucking weird.
I can hear him. He's pretty loud now.
Yeah, you can't hear me?
There we go. Now I can hear you. Yeah, you
okay.
much better.
I was just saying, Flash already flopped. It's not some financial success in any kind of way. True financial flop. They spent a whole bunch of money on all them reshoots. It's hot garbage in terms of financial stuff. And then there's also credible rumors going around that Warner Brothers is considering selling a lot of their historical catalog, even non-DC stuff. But in terms of, I'm going to still call him great value Superman. He certainly looks a lot like Henry Cavill, only, maybe thinner and obviously younger. Maybe add muscle to himself. I don't know. This is outside of a suit. This is outside of a trailer. And it's just name brand actor kind of right now to me. We'll see how it goes later on, but I didn't hate Henry Cavill at any point necessarily as an actor. I think it also sucks that we're not getting him as Superman and we're not getting him as Geralt of Rivia. So yeah, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. The other thing I'll mention too, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the actress that's playing Lois Lane. We'll see with her. I'm not disparaging her per se, but I wasn't a big Amy Adams. Was that the redhead's name?
Amy Adams.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of hers from the standpoint of Lois per se, but we'll see. I just don't know her work, and I need to see her in a role.
There hasn't really been a great Lois because, like, even with the Henry Cavill, not the Henry Cavill, Brandon Routh, like that version of Superman Returns, like that Lois wasn't that great as well.
That was Kate Bosworth, and we ain't seen her in a minute. I mean, she's on TV. But
wasn't that Lois a mama? Like, didn't she have a kid?
Yeah, she had a kid. He had his kid.
That was his. Okay, yeah, you're right.
I think the best adaptation of Lois Lane is, well, even in Smallville, Lois Lane wasn't that great. She was just hot.
No, you know what? In Lois and Clark, Terry Hatcher was bad.
Terry Hatcher, yeah.
Terry Hatcher I liked a lot. Like, that was one of my favorite depictions.
I still watch that show. It's on HBO Max.
Yeah, almost a lot of
somewhat holds up.
Yeah, can I also say this, though, too? And I got to go tinfoil hat on this shit. The timing of the announcement is real weird. I mean, we're like a couple weeks from Comic-Con. We know that Warner Brothers isn't going to have a presence at Comic-Con, along with Disney and a whole bunch of other big studios. And then in terms of timing, you have the writers' strike going on right now, and then the actors are threatening to strike very, very soon, potentially. And so maybe this was making a quick announcement ahead of some potential additional strikes that may further delay and complicate contractual stuff going on, and to distract from the fact that The Flash is such a fucking failure. The timing was weird on this.
You know what's kind of crazy about the whole Flash thing? It's that compared to like Wonder Woman 84 and Shazam, it actually did better than those two movies, box office wise.
Well, remember, 84 dropped when barely any theaters were open. That was at the absolute height of the pandemic. Shazam, I mean, you're absolutely right. It is what it is. It just didn't have any fucking buzz or whatever. But here's the other thing, too, that people keep fucking forgetting. It's not always about opening weekend. Sometimes it's really more important how long the legs are. Like, Ant-Man had a huge opening weekend, 3, and then kind of
hell
fizzled.
dropped off. Yeah.
You know, so
And
sometimes that shit happens.
And there's been movies that second week picked up numbers just because of word of mouth.
Exactly. Like Across the Spiderverse has fucking legs. That shit is going to be going strong all of the month of July.
Got 8 of them
For sure.
Oh, you know what?
I like that.
You know what also had legs was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That
lasted in the theaters for a little bit because word of mouth was very strong on that movie, so it stayed in theaters because it kept making money.
I remember people shitting on opening weekend for Avatar: The Way of Water, Avatar 2, and then that shit stayed on fucking top for like 7-8 fucking weeks and became the third highest grossing movie of all time.
Which is now it's on Disney Plus and HBO Max, which is weird.
Actually,
Really?
it might be. Yeah, it might be the second highest now. Yeah, I think it might have beat.
I think it's still third, dude. I think last I checked, it was third.
I remember it's up there. I could have sworn it overtook the first Avatar barely by like.
No, it didn't. No, first Avatar is at almost 3 billion.
Oh, okay. Because I remember it's up there. So
it's up there. It's well over 2 billion. I mean, it's still one of the most successful fucking franchises with only 2 fucking movies, and 3 out of 4 of the top highest grossing movies of all time are all James Cameron movies.
They are. I want to kind of bring it back to the core kind of, not the core, but just what we springboarded from with the DC news, kind of going back. So there was a fan that was questioning about certain things that Kratos was, I guess, into as far as movies. So I guess I'm going to formulate the question when it comes to directors, I guess. So Kratos, would you rather watch a James Gunn film or a Zac Snyder film?
Oh, James Gunn, hands down. I don't like Zac Snyder as a director.
And I know you said it on the podcast, but can you elaborate why?
Yeah, my main issue is that him and like his editorial team, they edit their movies like shit. Like they miss a lot of continuity issues that him and his editors always miss, and they seem to be like really chopped up very poorly, where things don't make sense. I think a lot of viewers that are like comic viewers, they kind of miss these things because we assume that we know kind of how these stories are supposed to be told. But if you go back and watch them a few times, like you can tell, like all of a sudden they're like somewhere, and then all of a sudden they're somewhere else, and it doesn't really make too much sense. Like if you just like take a movie as a whole and not like as a superhero movie. Not that I don't compare superhero movies to like normal movies per se, but I do compare like how like continuity goes in any storytelling. If the continuity's fucked up, then that just like messes me up like in general. And I don't like the general color palette that he uses in pretty much all of his movies. They're always too dark and it's too muddled, and there's like a lot of grays, and they look fucking depressing. They all look depressing. I'll give you a perfect example. Like look at like Guardians of the Galaxy, and then look at like Justice League. Look at how they visually look to you, like the colors that they're using. And I think that's actually a Zac Snyder and James Gunn movie, right? Those are the two.
Yeah. Well, if you're using the Zack Snyder Justice League versus the Joss Whedon Justice League, then yes.
Yeah, but it's all his movies, like all his movies that are especially the DC ones. Even like going back to like Sucker Punch and shit like that. Like they all have the same like really bad looking, like color
dark
palette.
tones.
And I'm not the only one with this critique. And it seems to be like his style. And don't get me wrong, like there's a bunch of people that have like an artistic style, and it's all subjective. Okay, and I understand that some people might like the depressing look. You're probably an edgelord, whatever. But I prefer them not to look like that. And you might say, oh well, Batman. Yeah, for Batman movies, I sort of get that. But when it comes to like, Superman, there should be like some hope in there, and with hope should come some like vibrant colors. When it comes to the Flash, there should be like some vibrant colors in there. When it comes to like, some other movies that are out there that are DC movies, that they shouldn't look so fucking depressing. Like they've always bothered me like that, and like the writing just doesn't seem that good either. They're not the best. Like look at the end of fucking Justice League, or was it Batman vs Superman, whatever, Where like the end part was just he just said Martha, and all of a sudden that was like, oh my god, this makes so much sense. Our mom's name is Martha, and like we're just everything you just said, we're good now. You just tried to kill me, but fuck it, we're good. Like doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like none.
Given the fact that James Gunn had his whole fiasco with his really weird pedophilic tweets, and now he's the head of DC. He's co-head. I'm sorry. He's co-executive head of DC. Does that play into the fact of you watching any of his films?
Not really, but I honestly, I'd have to go back and like re-look at, like, because like if I remember like correctly, this is years ago that I remember this coming up. This is also a time where I wasn't quite as sensitive to these topics, where I just kind of like kind of downplayed what he actually said. So maybe I have to go back and like read what he said on Twitter. I give some people passes. Especially if they happen to like, first of all, apologize and make up for like what they've said in the past. Most people have said fucked up shit in the past. I've said fucked up shit on this podcast before that I definitely don't believe in anymore because we've been on the air for like, what, 8 years now? It's been a while. So I've definitely said some things when I was younger that I definitely would not say today because it's stupid. But yeah, it depends on like what, like if he's made a statement, looking back on what he said, and what he thinks about it now. So that goes a long way.
Okay. There we go. So that should clear up, I think, for that particular fan, some of the comparisons between, especially within the DC universe, because they both have directed DC films and they both directed non-DC films, obviously. I think coming up later this year is the big epic by Zac Snyder, which I'm personally looking forward to.
Oh, sorry.
Is the Rebel
Moon. I'm looking forward to that too. This is another thing that I had a problem with when it comes to Zac Snyder, especially recently, I just need another do-over with the movie. Like, that is so fucking irritating. Like, how many times there's like, we just need the Snyder cut. We need the Snyder cut for all. It's like, look, motherfucker, you had a chance to make this movie. If you're the director of the movie, why couldn't you just make them all the cut that you wanted to have them? If it wasn't a product that you wanted to put out, then you should have said that to begin with, instead of like saying years later, we need the Snyder cut. And just to be clear, so I'm consistent, I don't like it when George Lucas goes back and changes a bunch of shit in his movies. You know what I mean? It's like, this is the way, blah, blah. It's like, well, just make it the way that you wanted your vision back then. You're the fucking director. You could have done that. And just, because this is what it seems like to me like he's doing, especially lately, is that he puts out a movie, people have the same complaints that I have about editing and colors and, just kind of bad directing. And he says, I have another cut, that I didn't put out yet, that adds in, X amount of time into this, and it's going to make so much more sense. It's like, what? No, you could have just done that to begin with. And, and I can guarantee you if it had been critically acclaimed when the movie came out and there was no complaints, then he wouldn't have said anything about some fucking Snyder cut. It's just, I can't stand that whiny ass bitch attitude of, I made it, in my mind it was better. It's like, you're the fucking director. You could have done it to begin with.
So, so for that one, like I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. That one, I have to give him a caveat because he had a family tragedy happen in the middle of the film, and he had to quit, and someone else had to finish his movie for him. So it was the studio that came to him and said, "Hey, we'll give you money and let you finish what your vision was because of the tragedy that happened to your family." And so I think it was unprecedented, and the fans were all about it. But after that, there's been no sign of him. So I can't say that. I believe actually every director has a version of a film that they didn't really get to finish or cut. And you can this even goes back all the way to even Silence of the Lambs, even Jaws. There's like a whole history on Jaws and like shit that they cut out, shit that they wanted to film and they didn't. So sometimes that's because the studio meddles. Sometimes it's because of budget. Sometimes it's because of time constraint.
Okay.
So there's a lot of factors that come in.
Okay. With this personal tragedy thing, I mean, obviously, that's a big deal, having a personal tragedy in his life. But at the same time, I didn't hear him saying anything like when they were putting the movie out. I didn't hear him saying anything about like even weeks after the movie came out. He didn't say anything about, I could have made it better. Could have the Snyder cut. I had, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't until like weeks and weeks and weeks, probably even months later, where he was just like, I had like this other cut where it's like adding in like all this extra content. I'm just like, missing with that bullshit. Like honestly, like he could have what he could have done is just stepped away and just like let it go. Just let it go. I mean that you had a personal tragedy. You didn't get the thing you wanted to make. Just let it go.
Well, let me say this though too. At least for Justice League, there's a drastic improvement. I mean, that theatrical had all the issues in the world. The longer version was just a better movie, period. And I think a lot of the people who saw it, in general, audiences tended to really, really like it.
Yeah, I know. I like the Snyder cut that they released. I watched it 3 times. I saw it once in color, once in black and white, and then once in true black and white.
I watched it once because it was 4 hours. Like, God, I mean, there's intermissions. There's like 3 intermissions, but God dang, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, it was funny because like
the whole thing, start to finish.
So there was like rumors that they were going to release it in black and white, and I was like, why don't I just turn the color off on my TV and watch it? So I did that, and then all of a sudden they released the black and white version. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to watch the black and white version now.
I mean,
but overall, like it is the thing about the Snyder cut was that it just filled in all the gaps, and the animation was a lot better, the CGI was a lot better. So I mean, they fixed it, but it should have been done correctly the first time around.
So I will say yes, that what Kratos had talked about as far as editing issues, a lot of that is fixed in the Snyder cut. It is way more cohesive, way more connective, and like it has like a story. It literally has beginning, middle, and end. Versus
but I mean,
the
you shouldn't.
Version there's a lot of jumps.
Okay, even with that movie, and it's fine. Like I'm not trying to say like you guys are wrong because you're not. I mean, if you enjoyed the movie, you enjoyed the movie.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say the same thing either, but I want to interject that there's these things as well.
It's fine, but like when you see the editing issues is not just that one movie, and so if like you put out a movie, and obviously I understand with that specific one, Joss Whedon did I guess at least half or maybe more of the directing process, but even his other movies, like there were the same literal complaints before this. And
can I just say this too? And everybody's gonna have opinions. I don't even know how we got on this subject. Old Ninja was asking questions. That's what it was. But I thoroughly enjoyed Army of the Dead, and then Army of Thieves as well, and then the 04, the one in the mall.
That was a remake. The
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
Or something like that.
It is Dawn of the Dead. It's
that was good. That would have Ving Rhames in it.
Oh, yeah.
That was old school.
It had Ving Rhames and fucking Tyrese.
Yeah,
no, Tyrese wasn't in that one.
I was going to say, they sound like they fill the same role.
Tyrese is in that one. You know why? Because his girlfriend was
No
Russian.
way. No, that's not Tyrese. Hold on. I just saw this. That's not Tyrese.
That's Tyrese.
Ain't no way. Hold on.
Yeah,
did Fizz choke him out because he was eating his mom's soup or some shit?
So Tyrese is in the film. So there's a scene where they have the zombie baby and they don't show the zombie baby, and everybody wants to kill the baby, and he's like, "You gonna take care of my family?" And like, they kill the mom and they want to kill the baby, and I think they kill him. So yeah, he's in that movie.
No, Mekhi Phifer's in that movie. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Always wrong. Get out of here.
Always wrong.
Bullshit.
You think Samuel Jackson?
No. How you gonna confuse black people just because one of them's black and dark skin?
Hold on, they both black. They both black. Shut up.
Oh my god.
They both black.
You loud and wrong. Fuck you.
That's what Hollywood said too. It's like it wasn't Tyrese.
Yeah, no,
we thought we got Tyrese.
How you gonna confuse Mekhi Phifer for Tyrese?
One of them doesn't even sing, bro.
I mean, because sometimes we look alike.
The audacity. And I'm sitting here like, no, I saw that movie like a month or two ago, and I'm like, that wasn't Tyrese, and you just loud.
Yeah, but you loud and wrong all the time.
Whatever.
Just a bunch of One Piece bullshit.
Whatever the fuck.
Was Mekhi in 8 Mile with Eminem, or is that another?
Yes, that was Mekhi Phifer.
Okay.
It also had
Clarence
or Sam Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Clarence.
Yeah.
That'll never get old.
I remember Mekhi's in the song is in that movie because of Eminem's verse in his song 8 Mile.
You know what's so funny about that movie though? If you go back, Like it had Kim Basinger, right?
Yeah, his place she plays his mom.
Kim Basinger, and then it had what was the dead girlfriend, the one that played Kim?
Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy. She's been dead a long time. She's staying dead.
Well, yeah, usually when you dead,
but generally when you die, you stay dead.
Yeah.
She ain't coming back though.
No.
She been dead.
I mean,
but I mean, she was like a almost becoming a real deal star just before she died. It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
speaking of Miles, I know I threw this in the chat a little earlier this week, but for Across the Spiderverse, not Across. Is it Across the Spiderverse? Is that the next one? The third one?
Oh,
yeah, Across the
Beyond.
Spiderverse.
I think it's Beyond.
Beyond. That's what it is. Beyond. So that won't be coming out next month or next year. It's definitely. It looks like it's going to be pushed back. A little conflict. Well, so far, all the actors who did the voice work said they haven't even started doing anything. And it doesn't even look like the animation had even started.
I was going to say the voice work isn't the hard part; it's the animation part that's the hard part.
Yeah, but I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about it, and they were saying that for Across the Spiderverse, the artists had to work 10 hours, 7 days a week for a whole fucking year. That's some fucking crazy bullshit right there.
So we always hear about that in the gaming world in terms of crunch and all of that stuff. And I will say, as someone who, buys a decent amount of games, I think about it after the fact, God damn, they put in a whole lot of fucking effort. I hope they get compensated if the game's a hit or the movie's a hit, but that's a lot.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But it looks like it's going to be pushed back until 2025. So
a whole another year.
Wait, a whole another year.
My daughter's going to be mad, but whatever. I mean, with this, especially this movie, the fact that there were so many different animation styles in the same movie, I mean, I can understand why you have to push it back. I mean, like they said, that one fight scene alone in the Spider-Verse realm was it took 4 goddamn years, and I can believe it because I mean they had to put in. It was probably at least, I would say, 30 fucking different art styles in that one scene alone.
Take your time, do it right. Tell the story that you want to tell. We'll wait, but yeah, I mean, I like the fact that Across the Spider-Verse ended on a cliffhanger, and we'll wait.
Yeah, I wish they didn't dangle that carrot in front of us saying it was going to be out next year in May. I was like, oh yes, I don't have to wait that long. I got to wait even longer.
Hey, games get pushed back all the time. Movies get pushed.
For sure.
Look at during the pandemic how many fucking movies got pushed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but they pushed back because Into the Spider-Verse. Goddamn, I keep it Across the Spider-Verse got pushed back because it was supposed to come out in 2021 or 22, I think, and it got pushed back mainly because of the pandemic. But they made changes. They updated the artwork. They told a better story. So, they can take their time. I'm not too mad at it.
I got a question for you. Is Joan the worst? Is Joan awful? Is Margaret awful?
Joan.
Oh man, yeah. So you talking about that Black Mirror, huh?
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
Damn, man, they did their own multiverse shit. it fucks your head.
So Kronos, are you good with spoilers?
No.
Just on the first episode?
Just let me know when you're done.
All right.
We'll touch on it.
Yeah, we'll just touch a little bit. Because here's the thing, and I was talking to Old Ninja when we was out in Little Italy this past Saturday about this. God fucking damn it. First of all, Selma Hayek, shout out to you. You've been bad since the 90s. You still sexy. You still bad. And then my other thing is, old girl, God damn it, I forgot her name, but she was from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Anthony, Abby Murphy, something Murphy. Anyway, something Murphy, Nicole Murphy, whatever the fuck it is.
Annie Murphy? I don't know.
Annie, that's it. That's her name. Annie Murphy. This chick, holy fuck, she was acting. Like the fact that she went into that goddamn church in her cheerleader uniform with fucking a dick on her fucking forehead and written in lip after eating 15 fucking burgers and a whole bunch of laxative and wine and shat herself and then had the audacity to tell the kids, don't look at me. That was acting. That was
in the middle of somebody's goddamn wedding.
Right in the middle of an interracial wedding. That was great. That was wild.
But
hold on. Prodigy, you're biased because you were looking for someone to shit on someone's carpet. It got on film, and you're all about it because it was a mainstream show that shows somebody shitting on carpet.
She did shit on carpet. She shit on it in a church. Shout out to her. And not only that, she had an air horn and everything. And I mean, it was coming out like she was like grunting with it. That was foul. You know what I mean?
Dude, what's so crazy about this episode? If you ever saw that episode of South Park, the Cinepad episode, where like you don't read the fine print of the little agreement thingy.
Mm-hmm.
I basically what this is. It's a very very far twisted story of that, but I don't know. It all worked really well, and the fact that Salma Hayek was in it, and she played. I know Salma Hayek is a super nice person, so I couldn't see her being like mean about things, but it was just funny just to see her play Salma Hayek, and the fact that she calls herself Salma fucking Hayek, like whenever she would say things.
Yeah.
But like for my intro, because like she talks about the computers and she says computas, and I just thought that shit was so fucking funny when she said that.
That shit was hilarious, man. I mean, I hadn't seen Salma Hayek in something, especially this funny, in fucking years. Like, I miss her being in some comedic roles, but she's still fucking bad. She just hot as fucking shit.
You follow her Instagram?
I don't. I need to.
Oh,
That's
man.
a good idea. That's a good idea. But yeah, this shit had it even had Michael Cera in there. You know what I mean? Who I hadn't seen in fucking forever or whatever, you know? But I've only watched the first episode. I fucking loved it. Some people didn't like this season, so I'm kind of slowly going to watch some more. But that first episode hit me fucking hard.
The second episode is good.
Yeah.
But it's on a different wavelength. It's definitely not comedic, and it has like a different kind of like.
Oh, what was the third one about?
I haven't seen the third one. I've only seen the
what?
first.
I've seen the third one. What was the second one about? I forgot.
The second one is basically like a. It's like kind of like a wannabe Blair Witch, but not like a Blair Witch kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Where it has the guy from Game of Thrones who plays Podrick with a very thick Irish accent, like a very thick Irish accent.
It's the one that's we're doing a documentary, right?
They're doing a documentary, yeah. They're doing a documentary of the town, and there's a huge twist towards the end. Like, what the fuck? Yep. So that was interesting.
The third one has oh god, the guy from Breaking Bad. That was what's his name? Like.
Oh wait, I have seen that one.
The one that takes place in space, and then also has
Did you watch it out of? You watch it out of order, old ninja?
No, I watched it in order, but I watched them. I watched them like days apart, so I didn't watch them back to back. I forgot the one. So the third one has Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
And the one of the guy from Breaking Bad. What the hell's his name? I can't think of his name, but he was just here.
The chemistry professor or the other one?
No, the other guy, the young guy.
Jesse?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He's one of the famous brothers. So, yeah, but it has him in it, and then it has what's her name in it? Kate Morgan. No, yeah. Kate Morgan. Kate
I don't know who the fuck that is, but
Kate Morgan was in okay, what's the name of that movie? She was in.
She's in her sister.
She was in Fantastic Four, the remake one. With,
yeah, Josh Trank.
She plays Storm.
Yeah. No, she plays Invisible Woman.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Sue Storm. You both are right. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch some more of it. Hopefully later on this week or whatever.
Kate Mara, that's her name. Kate Mara is her name.
Yeah, but I just will say, I dig fucking Black Mirror. It's good to see that shit back on the air and whatnot.
So I will say this: the fourth episode has Zazie Beetz in.
Say less.
So I haven't watched it yet, but that's the one I haven't seen.
Let me perv out just a little bit. Zazie Beetz is infamous for going on interviews talking about how she don't really shower all that much. Like she just do a fucking whole bath or a cat bath, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And she's still fine and still got folks online talking about I'll drink your bathwater. Like that's how bad she is. She ain't even got
she
good
played
hygiene.
she played Luck, right? Or what's her name in Deadpool?
She played Domino.
Domino, that's what it was. Yeah.
But supposedly she's not going to be in the third one, so we'll see. The other thing is with that third one, they got a script, but they
Bring
can't
Kratos
edit.
back in here.
They can't edit because of the strike. I don't know. Kronos. Oh yeah, let him know.
They can't ad lib because there's the writer strike. So it has to be directly from the script, from the page. No editing, no nothing. It's got to be word for word for now.
That's not a good sign. But all right, we'll see.
It's either that or they stop production. So
yeah, we will see. Where else y'all want to go?
Hey, I wanted to, since Chrome's back on here, I gotta get Kronos' feedback on Extraordinary on Hulu. I know you finished it, right?
Yeah, I did finish it.
What? It was great, huh?
Yeah, it was. It was actually really, really good. I hate to say it, but I was surprised. Not that you get bad recommendations or anything, but it was like way better than I thought it was going to be. Because it started out like kind of okay, and it just kept getting better. Cause for a while I didn't think that the guy that could give orgasms with a touch, I didn't think that, I thought maybe he was faking it, but he was not. So yeah, it was, the show, Blue gave the synopsis of it earlier. Basically everybody gets powers around 18, but some people don't. And this the main character is a woman who doesn't get it, and she's kind of a piece of shit in real life. Honestly, she's not a really good friend. She's really bitter about not getting powers, and everybody else, her best friend's power is being able to have the dead talk through her. And it's funny because even though she has her friend has this really cool power, she works for a law firm to do fucking inheritance disputes. They'll just use her to talk to the person that died to see what they really wanted in life. And it's just it's really funny. And she ends up even falling in love with one of the people that she's being a medium for. It's just that whole scene with the former king was it was hilarious. Yeah, it's honestly the show. I think everybody should go watch it because it's an English show. Which is, and I like some English humor, like Red Dwarf and the IT Crowd. If you like those sorts of shows, if you're an older nerd like me, then you'll definitely appreciate this show. Even though it's with younger people in it, but it's still fucking funny. It's their humor is really good. And there's actually somebody that I saw in a previous show, Sex Education. Did you ever watch that, Blue?
I watched the first 2 seasons, I think. That's the one that was on Netflix, right? Where I had a homegirl from X-Files.
Yeah, Gillian Anderson. Yeah, so the black girl in there, she's actually in Extraordinary.
Oh, the one from... Oh, yeah.
She doesn't have powers, and then she gets them. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably there's a scene that you might like. There's a scene where they pee on the counter.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
They might do it on the floor, too, but yeah.
Yeah, that whole scene was fucking hilarious, and it was also kind of unbelievable because they didn't know who did it. But yeah,
dude, what was your favorite scene? Because I always talk about the dentist scene.
The dentist scene was pretty funny. But
yeah,
what would be the funniest scene? There was so many of them. I think. Well, actually, no, I don't think it's not funny. It's one of the ones that were kind of sad. Is but it was an important scene. Is when the guy who could rewind time. And he knows that his girlfriend's going to break up with him. And he's just constantly rewinding time to, not break up. And it was just, it's fucking sad when he realizes that he can't get around it. And so he basically has to, reset all of his, rewinds at once. He has to listen to her say, I think we should break up, over and over again until he runs out of resets. And then reality sets in for him. And it's fucked up. And he was a coward. So.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, a huge coward.
But the part where the printer guy, it's the 3D printing guy, where he's in the bathroom, he's he's 3D printing some energy drink for him, and he's like, "What flavor do you want?" I was like, Wow, he can actually print like different flavors.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, would you want to drink something from somebody's ass? So yeah, they have. There's a guy that can like 3D print from his ass, and
Yeah.
like almost anything that can like fit through his asshole, he can like 3D print. It just takes him a little bit of time, and there was like the other guy, the big black dude, who could go through solid objects, but only if he's naked, and it's hard for him to get through it. So like one time he gets stuck naked in like a wall and his ass is hanging out. And it's just like, it's so fucking funny. He's like stuck
for
there
hours.
Overnight. Yeah.
But yeah, you guys definitely gotta check out that show. It's so fucking funny. I can't wait for season 2 to drop. Who knows when though?
I saw the pilot and I really, really loved it. I need to go back to it. I mean, you were absolutely right with your recommendation on that one. It's good.
It definitely gets better because even the first one's good, but then it just like keeps getting better and better with like the people's with different powers and like the way that like her like fuck buddy was like treating her like shit, but then she kind of treats everybody else like shit, and it's just like, yeah, it's really good because like I like shows that have complicated people in them, and like they show like kind of the darker side of people, and like the main character, I forget what her name is, but like they wrote her really well because like it's hard to like really root for her the whole time. Like you kind of don't like her. Like I didn't like her. So
What about the scene in the girl's bathroom with her sister when they go to like her sister's like graduation or some shit?
The funniest thing in the whole fucking show was talking about how she finger blasted her girlfriend into the ER. I was like, God damn. She like literally fractured her hip from finger banging her girlfriend. I was like, dude.
her girlfriend's walking around with a crutch. That's the reason why they broke up.
And like a hip like cast.
Yeah. She got snoo-snooed.
Yeah.
It should. What else? What's everybody still playing right now?
So I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom still, and I'll be playing Diablo tomorrow after I do some housework. But I got to tell you a really cool like gaming story that happened this week for me and Kay. So I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, and like if you haven't played the game, it's one of the best games ever. Seriously, it's like climbing up the ladder of like, it's up there for like one of the best games of all time, easily, because you can just do shit the way you want to play it. And so I was just like randomly flying around places. Kay is like way further in the game than me, but I found this place to where I found like this secret sage in the game that's not part of like the main quest, at least where I was at. And I happened to find it, and I told Kay about it. And so that night we were both playing the game at like the same points, and I got the big TV and she was. Oh no, we were both playing on like in handheld mode, and we're both like at the same parts, and we had to like fight the same boss. And I ended up like beating the boss, and she ended up dying. And she was like, "Oh, I'm done for the night." And so I got through like the cutscenes and stuff, and it was like you end up getting a fucking mech in this game, like a legit mech that you can like ride on top of and like put attachments on, like laser beams and fucking cannons and shit. I was just like, what? Like this game is so amazing. There's only like few like little technical downsides, but the fact that it gives you like so much freedom on like how you want to play, because like when the way that Kay even got to the place where I told her to go, because I found it first and I just showed her on the map, like just go here, and like the way that she got there and the way that she was like figuring stuff out was like way differently than the way I was doing it. And what I like about the game the most is that the developers give you the freedom to like play the way you want. So like what they'll frequently do is you'll be in a situation like a puzzle, but like they'll put down like materials to like where you could tell like what they want you to do, but you don't have to do it like that. Like I frequently just like make shitty bridges out of stuff and just like figure my way out to like, or I use like a rocket shield to like go up places and like not do like what they want me to do. Like they have like, this whole elaborate fucking like minecart thing scenario for like a boss battle, and I was just like, I got to the point because you had to get like 5 blocks, and I was like, fuck these minecarts. I just started using like rocket shields and just like flying around and like getting to where I had to go without using like the minecart thing. And you can do that, or you can just do it the way that they wanted you to do it by using the minecarts. And I think that it's very refreshing when a developer believes in, first of all, their code and like their players, and like just giving them the freedom of doing like however they want you to play, or however you want to play, not them want you to play. I hope that more games take note and just because it's fucking fun. Like I don't need 4K graphics and 120 frames per second or even 60 frames per second. I don't need any of that shit. The game is just fun to play. Oh, and one thing that I noticed, one of the ways that I think the game kind of skirts around some of the how big the game is that all the characters are fucking Mii's. Do you get any of you guys have Switches?
No, no. I don't.
Did you just have a Wii at all? Any of you guys have a Wii?
I still have my Wii. I take my Wii. I use my Wii every week.
So do you know what a Mii? You know what the Mii's are?
Yeah, I know what the Mii's are. I have like 2 of them on my.
Yeah, so all the characters in the latest Zelda games, they're Mii's.
How? Like,
look at their faces. They're all fucking Mii's.
That's all bad.
Yeah, they just took that system of Mii's and they just randomized it for like all the NPCs, and then like they made specific ones for the main characters, except for like I guess like the gore, any like human, like human-sized characters, they're all Mii's.
So, for those of you who missed the Mii's or the Wii generation, a Mii is basically like a bowling pin with like a human face on it. You're supposed to make it look like yourself, so you do your best to make it look like you.
And they have modern. I mean, the Switch has Mii's too. Like they have an updated like template for Mii's.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. That's actually really funny. But I've seen some really weird constructs in fucking Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, because like the one where someone built like a giant mech with a flaming dick. Someone built the Batmobile from the Christopher Nolan series on it. You can watch it it's on TikTok now. People have built, some dude built like it's like a carousel, but he put like a sidecar in it, so it's basically a bunch of ships in a circle, and then he uses a sidecar like seat and uses the ships to roll through water. Which is like, just weird.
With the Batmobile one, like they got so creative with it that it even breaks down and turns into a fucking motorcycle. Like that's how legit that's how crazy people are getting creative with this game.
And I can recognize like what all the pieces are, because like you already have all the pieces. Like I've already seen like pretty much all the pieces that you can have in the game. So yeah, it's really? Like they just let you like do whatever you want, and there's no restrictions. Like like before in like older games or like even other games to this day, like they'll have like invisible walls to where you can't get to things, or they say like, oh, you can't get here yet or whatever. It's like, no, like if you can figure out a way to get to like some place in the game, you can get there. There might not be something for you there, but you can get there. So like one of the things, except for like the boss battle, there's some you need to have for the major bosses, you need to have like the avatar character with you to get through it. But that's about it. Other than that, like you can if you can get there, like you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it reminds me of? It looks like an updated version of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Because in that game, you could build everything you wanted from the world and make all kinds of shit from all kinds of weird... It looks like children's, like, building blocks type thing. Mm-hmm. Where you can make, like, really cool shit in the game. Like, and go anywhere. Or almost anywhere. I mean, it's an older game, but the mechanics and the building tech looks like they just expanded on it for Zelda. So, I'm glad people are enjoying it. I mean, it's almost making me contemplate getting a Switch, but we'll see.
That game alone and the last game, it's definitely worth it. There's actually a really good, is it Today Explained from Vox Media? They have like a really cool podcast about the economics of Zelda. And it's like people that have never played or have not played games ever before or haven't played for like a really long time are like playing, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and they're just like, just nerding out. It's like, it's so fun because there's like an older lady that is basically telling the story of like her getting back into games, and she's like in her 50s, I think. And like the amount of childlike wonder and excitement for her for this game is just so much fun to like listen to, like having somebody that excited at that age. Not that she's like super old, because that's like not even that much older than me, but just being so excited about a goddamn video game. I think it's cool.
Right on. Yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. I think further this year, because we have a lot of Game of the Year contenders just so far, and it's just going to be... And we're not even to like the big push part of the year. That'll be like in the fall and December. That's when everything's gonna be like super crazy.
I still haven't played Street Fighter 6 yet.
Neither have I.
I
I've been meaning to buy it. Oh, you bought it? I haven't bought it yet. I've been slacking. I was gonna buy it today, but I'll probably pick it up tomorrow. But I want to build my character because I heard character creation, based on your creativity, it can be a very long. It can take you up to an hour. Like there's, I think it was Games Radar or IGN or like a Twitch streamer. They spent 1 whole hour building their character just to play in the game.
Was it a guy or
I don't get to the
man
end.
or a woman?
I don't remember. I was watching part. I kept skipping because they literally started with one base character, and then they like started over and did like some crazy character. And they went back to like the human looking because they built something super weird that looked like it looked like a inflatable device with like a fucking eyes and a big ass mustache. So they went back and built something else. I've seen people build like celebrities in the game. Someone built like the rapper Ice Spice for the game. I was like, what the fuck? And they have this little video of her fighting. It's hella crazy. And like there's a whole video I think IGN posted when the game started because people who had the beta version or like an early release, they had this compilation of the craziest characters in the game. They look like aliens. Some of them were just super goofy. Some of them were super stupid.
That's right, our Prodigy's alley. It's got to have the Hulk with giant tits.
Yeah, I mean, if you could build that if you wanted. You could literally build that, and it's like super crazy. So I'm like, damn.
It was Lilo that would spend hours creating her characters, right?
Oh yeah,
Stitch's wife.
But she admits to that, so yeah.
She's not the only one. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
There's been a few games where I put some time in to create my character.
Yeah, but a whole hour. I mean, if you want it, because you can do a lot of customization, and the game itself apparently like I guess you can play 2 different ways. You can do like the story mode, or just jump into straight fighting. So there's like a super crazy amount of content in this game. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably gonna buy it this week. I may wait till next week. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited.
And then Final Fantasy 16 is out too, and that's another one. It's just like, god damn, that game was so fucking good. You know, when the demo was so good. I look forward to playing it, but it's just not going to be today or even next week. So
yeah, I mean,
is it out already?
Yeah.
Yep.
I highly recommend everybody play it. At least play the demo. Demo's free, and it's the first part of the game. So, and when I say the first part of the game, it's literally the first part of the game. So if you play the demo and you decide you like it and you start playing the game, it'll pick up the save from your demo. And if after you're done playing like the first part of the demo, you can do what's called the Icon Challenge, and it's basically you, but like way later in the game where you have 3 different icons, and it's dope. So it gives you like 2 nice like pieces of the game, and it's fantastic.
They did.
I remember another.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh. No, I was gonna say I think another game did that in the demo where like it showed you like in the beginning like when your character is kind of starting off, but then like later on it shows you like your character being OP'd or not OP, but like having more abilities, more powers at a higher level, which I always thought was cool.
A few have done it, but first of all, it's very rare that demos are even a thing anymore. Like not enough games do it, and also I've never seen it before where like literally the save that you have on the demo carries over into the main game. That was fucking genius.
Yeah, I will say for 7 Remake, they let you play some, I think most of the first mission or 2, something like that. And it definitely sold me. I ended up buying it. I'll definitely buy this latest Final Fantasy 16, see how it fucking goes. But I was impressed with the demo. I'm glad it's selling well. I'm glad Final Fantasy is still a viable franchise. It's been good. It's been real good. Okay. We shall see. What are you actually playing, Blue or Old Ninja?
Go ahead, Blue. Blue.
No, I was muted.
Oh.
No, I'm not playing much of anything right now. What about you, Old Ninja?
I am playing. So I'm trying to not
I'm playing the game of life. That's what I'm doing. Out here on these streets trying to get a job. I got a kid in the car. What else is I got the little peg in my car with my wife and my kids. So
I got 5 kids to feed.
Oh man. For me, so I'm trying to not get too over bogged down, but I already have like a shit ton of games. So the most current games I was playing the No Man's Sky Expedition, which is actually pretty. It's not too bad. There's a couple things. There's one thing you had to look up because it was a community-based goal, but now that goal has passed, so you don't need to look it up how to do it anymore. So I finished that. So now I'm moving on to. I'm playing a lot of Call of Duty. So Call of Duty updated with like a bunch of shit. They have like story missions inside the DMZ. Um, there's just like it's on a shorter season, but there's some kind of secret unlock that's gonna unlock in 13 days. So the community is going about, wondering what's going on. So they also have community-based goals. So there's like an event for the community. If they hit the goal for the community, it unlocks for everyone and like all the maps. So, or one map in particular. There's a new map, and if the community hit like goals for that map, so basically what they do is like the map is cut up into sectors, and each sector you need to do like specific things. Like you need to either kill people, kill NPCs, kill other players, or complete a task. Usually the task is like to find a detonator and then disarm it. And then once you do that, you get like a what they call like a medal. And that medal count goes to the community count. And the more people that complete these events or these tasks adds to an unlock. So the first unlock was like it was like a moving store. So the map takes place in the Netherlands. So what they added was a taxi boat that has like a store and a bunch of like free boxes that you can get. So you just jump onto it, loot it, and then take off or buy or mod if you need to. The second one was like a reinforcement flare. So you can get this flare and call in a reinforcement. Usually you'll need it for a mission, but it brings in a big ass fucking um, LTV, which is a giant truck with a fucking 50 cal on it. The next one is like a I guess it's called the favorite box. I don't know what's supposed to be in it. I don't know what it's supposed to set up is. And the last one I think is it's a new melee weapon. So when the community hits that, everybody gets a new weapon. And then like in 13 days, they're gonna unlock some new thing for everybody. It's either gonna be a new weapon or a new character or maybe even, some other new things they're gonna add to the event. So I've been playing a lot of this, adding to that, and then I've been debating about starting Resident Evil 4, but then I've been playing some Jedi Survivor, and the answer to B Boy Frost's question before you asked it is yes. I know you're going to ask the question. The answer is still yes, and so that's when I've been kind of limited to that. I don't want to start Resident Evil 4. I do want to go back to Cyberpunk because the new DLC's out in like a couple months or a month or something. So I've been like kind of keep it to those games for now.
The chip Resident Evil 4 is absolutely great. So let me know when you start playing it.
You haven't started it. It's still sealed. And then I want to get Street Fighter 6, but I'm like, I already have all these fucking games. I've been kind of dipping my toe back into Monster Hunter World, but
Oh, not
really,
not Rise?
no, I mean I have Rise, but it just wasn't. There's not the same squad. Like not everybody's playing it. It feels everyone complains that it's too easy. I mean it's fun, but it's just not. It's not the same.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, just Monster Hunter World just felt like it just felt more right. It has a bit more of a challenge. Yes, I know the Sunbreaker DLC adds more challenge or whatnot, but I feel like there's way more shit to do um in Rise that's like feels like busy work. Like you gotta raise like two different pets that'll help you when we do your missions. But I'm like, why do I need this? And World, I didn't need this. I just had my Palico and it was fine. This one, I got a dog and a cat, and I'm like, I don't really know if I really fucking need it. It is what it is.
Fuck it. Where else you guys want to go? 'Cause there's
So we should be talking about that hot button issue.
Which one?
Warrior Fellow bought it up earlier. Everybody's fucking talking about it's a huge fucking hot button shit. It is the advent of AI. I know we grazed on it like earlier this month or earlier.
We talked about this multiple times, but all right.
No, but like it's still but we touched on it. But because AI keeps branching into new disciplines and new categories, people are freaking out. And should we be scared? That's the question. Should we be scared that these companies are using AI to do these things, or should we be concerned? Should we be scared? So, for instance, the most recent is Secret Invasion for Disney Plus, Marvel's Secret Invasion. The intro to the show is done by AI, which caused a huge backlash for some reason. Personally, I don't know why.
You mean the writing or the look or what?
No, the artwork in the intro. The artwork in the intro is all AI, and people had they had a lot of feelings about this.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up. Back up. If you're saying the artwork is AI, and I haven't seen the show yet, why is nobody complaining about giant scroll titties and Fuda dick and all? I mean, that's all that AI is. We all know it.
No, that's what you've been.
That's the sites I've been going to.
Yeah, exactly. That's all the sites that you're going to. But they did something different with this AI, and people were freaking out. And they're also freaking out about, Warrior Fellows talking about like the AI scare. Part of the writers, we talked about this like a few weeks ago, but part of the writer's scare is about AI writing, like the Chat
GPT.
Yeah, so I guess you can literally have AI write fucking TV scripts or whatever. People freaking out about this shit.
But hold on, let's be accurate in terms of what they're actually saying. It's about in terms of the writers. It's about money.
It is about money, but it's also about work.
Yeah, money and work is right.
Work
but
is money.
According to them, it's about the money and the rights for like the money in perpetuity from streaming, which is a very different structure from traditional television. And according to them, it hasn't kept up or been commiserate with like you get this many amount of dollars for like writing Seinfeld that's on repeat on TNT for the last 30 fucking years. You know what I mean? That's not the way it works in streaming. And they feel like they should be getting some more of that dough.
That is also correct, but also another point of this argument is if you have some intern or some very person that hasn't really written a whole TV show or a movie and like you need something quick, you go to this Chat GPT and have it pump out a 200-page script in like, I don't know, a couple hours or less. That is work, as they say, being taken away from actual writer or author, and they're kind of on edge about this.
The other question is I mean, they kind of played along with this in Black Mirror, but like, who owns the rights to whatever Chat GPT or whatever AI pumps out?
It's another good question too.
Yeah, so that's let me give my thoughts. I need to figure out the. There's a podcast I'm going to reference, but I forget the actual name. It might have been Marketplace, but anyway. So my thoughts on the AI thing is that when it comes to like the AI writing with episodes, like we're not quite there yet, but there is a problem when it comes to. I hesitate to even call it like really AI. It's a large language model. So all it really is right now is just it's a really good search engine that is a really good predictive text simulator. So what it's doing right now is it's going through. It control the whole internet, like the vast majority of the internet, through articles and stuff like that, and then predictive text what they think you're asking. So if you say like, I want you to write, about something, it's going to go through the internet of what something else wrote about, and then make an extrapolation of that, and then write for you. When it comes to like things that are like really defined, like I don't know, the bar exam, it's super easy to pass that shit because those are all known variables. Because like there's only so many answers you can have when it comes to like a test like that. But when it comes to like writing an episode, what it's going to do, like if you ask right now for Chat GPT, or some other large language model to like write an episode of The Simpsons. What it's going to do is look up all the transcripts of episodes of The Simpsons and then make a new episode based upon all the previous writing. And that's where the problem is when it comes to writers and the writer strike right now, is because ChatGPT and other large language models can take the entire work of human writers and then build upon that, but they didn't start with that. Like you can't take like a ChatGPT and then take it offline and then really ask it to do anything, because it needs the internet and other human works to really work through that. Like you can't ask it to write like a sitcom, because it wouldn't even know what the fuck a sitcom was. Even if it did, it wouldn't. It needs references to a sitcom from a human experience. And once you give it those tools, you still need to narrow it down as to like what exactly you're talking about. Maybe with like something like The Simpsons, it might be a little bit easier because there's like a large body of work that it can reference, and frequent jokes and characters and like nuances and stuff like that it can go back through. But when it comes to some other things, it could be a little bit more difficult. But even then, it still has a leg up on what is mostly human generated content, and that is not fair for those humans that made that content for like a large language model to build upon that without giving credit or even giving any sort of monetary compensation to those humans that spent years and years making their craft and writing episodes. so I can see where that's going to be a problem. If you want to see exactly why these large language models are not really suited for everything, there's like 3 episodes. I think it's from Market. I'm pretty sure it's Marketplace. It's a podcast where they used AI to write a whole episode, and they went through, I think it was like 3 episodes, and they went through every single step that they needed to do, and it's not as easy as you would think. And they even went so far as to like taking they had an older podcast that used to be on the show, and they made an AI voice for him. And so what they did, because he has so much of his audio content already online, that they fed it through. There's a company, I forget what the name of the company is, but basically it's an AI company that can basically replicate somebody's voice. And they fed it through, and like over like the course of like maybe a day, it almost perfectly fucking replicated this dude's voice. And so what they did was they had AI using very strict confines, write an episode for them, and then use the AI guy's voice that they replicated to like read the episode with another human guy. But the human guy was only going to read from the script that the AI, the large language model wrote for both him and the AI voice. And it was actually not bad. It was pretty decent. But it's like, go ahead, Prodigy.
Yeah, I just want to say this. I mean, I know everybody's afraid and people are talking about this as the end of the world and all this other stuff. I think we have to look back and take a deep breath. Anytime there's new fucking technology, people freak the fuck out and overreact. Every single time. When electricity came on board, you had motherfucking cartoons in the New York Times talking about, it's going to fry people's babies, when you plug something in. Like, people freak out with new technology in the stupidest ways when you look back. There was shit when we were kids about the internet. It just wasn't fucking true. So I'll just say this. Some of it is going to be a useful tool. Some of it is going to be pure, unadulterated shit that you can tell is computer written right a fucking way. I'm going to use it for watching some of the greatest hentai ever made, and I'm going to continue to do that. That's all I got to say.
Hey, we can see if AI can make another season of High School of the Dead.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a developing story. Just take it with a grain of salt, take a deep breath, and realize that it's not the fucking end of the world. Go find some good hentai.
Yeah, I mean, people are still doing it right now, especially with like electric cars. Like, people are so against like battery technology. They're like, oh, where's the batteries coming from? I'm against kids, digging up, these rare materials from the earth. Meanwhile, they have fucking cell phones and they drive normal cars. It's like, where do you think they're getting the oil from? Where do you think they're getting the batteries from? Every other goddamn thing you fucking use. Like, where do you think they're getting the, all these rare materials in, your monitors and, all these other things. It's like, if you really cared, then you'd have cared about it a long time ago. But you're just being contrarian, the same way that people, like when they made cars back in the day, well, horses are so much better. It's just like, no, horses are not better than a fucking car. And the vast majority of gas-powered cars are shittier than electric cars. Like, they're not as efficient, like by any metric, and they're worse for the environment, no matter how you put it. Yes, they have to dig down to fucking get those materials, but guess what? They're digging that same fucking earth to get fucking oil. And I still haven't seen a lithium-ion fucking spill anywhere.
Yep. You know what really, actually started the car boom more than anything else in terms of East Coast major cities like New York and Philly and Boston and whatnot? It was the amount of fucking horse shit that was piled up so high and being a public health hazard.
Yeah, no shit.
You can talk about nature and natural stuff and horses and all that. Do you realize that there was just a fucking thick ass 2, 3, 4 foot layer of fucking horse shit throughout the streets of Manhattan from all the delivery trucks, or delivery wagons and all of that other stuff, and people trying to take this horse here and there. Like, horses aren't better, like Kratos said, but don't be too afraid of technology. Just use it for good porn. That's all I want you to do.
I bet you dudes are back in the day. They were like, I'm tired of wearing high heels from walking through this horse shit.
Yeah.
That's where high heels are from. It's from dudes wearing high heels from like horse shit and mud.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? In all of those period pieces, especially the romantic ones, they never show the appropriate amount of horse shit in London and in New York. They never do that.
I wonder if they had the same amount of shit that San Francisco have of human shit right now.
Yeah, the same joke.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he just made the same joke.
Streets of fucking San Francisco. Goddamn. Dude, it's been a while since I've been to the city.
Me too. But I just don't there anymore. So
I miss it. Hey,
let's celebrate for some beer week. Come on, let's do it. All of us.
Oh yeah, it's coming up.
Oh, that's a beer week.
Yeah, February.
I said February.
Oh yeah, I'm totally down.
So. Hey, I will say this. It's looking worse and worse for Jonathan Major's ex. I know I posted this in the chat. He's suing her.
Yes.
For domestic violence.
Oh.
And
loss of fucking pay.
And loss of pay and all. It's looking like there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that he was in fact the victim. I think that needs to be stated. And I think that there was a lot of jumping to conclusions early on in February and March or whatever this case dropped. Here's how I know that it's not looking good for her. Her whole government ass name is out in these articles.
Ooh.
And typically with these scenarios, anytime someone, usually a woman, but anytime someone is the true victim of a crime that's ongoing and investigated and all that other stuff, typically, I'm not a lawyer, whatever, you don't release they say Jane Doe, they didn't do that here. You can read 3-4 articles that came out today. Her name, government name is all up in them, meaning, and this is still some speculation, but meaning it's looking like either he was completely innocent or he was actually the victim of this shit. I want him to be cleared. I want this to be finalized, but I want the apology to be as loud as the internet, you're guilty, you're terrible. Because remember...
Stop. It is never...
I know. I'm just saying I want it.
I know it won't be. It doesn't matter what you want. It's what's going to happen.
I know, but I'm still going to call people hypocrites over that shit.
You can do.
I'm always going
to. That's not going to echo out how loud the accusations were. All the think pieces and talk pieces about him being canceled, being recast, being he's always been like this, or I've heard from my cousins, uncles, nieces, nephews, dog that he was like this on the set of this 10 years ago, and all this other bullshit.
And all of that shit just jumped out of nowhere.
The apology will be a whimper, especially for
a
someone
dogpile.
What's crazy is
especially
that
for Jonathan Majors.
you're telling me that a guy that looks like Jonathan Majors would not have been fucking vetted to the utmost degree. You know what I mean? Like the guy, he's a yoke black dude. Like you have to be the prerequisite to getting into Hollywood or any other fucking upstanding position is you got to kind of be a fucking nice guy. You know what I mean? Like you can't. we don't have the luxury of a white guy. I'll just put it like that. You know what I mean? Like the guy is physically intimidating. Like